Hi, I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kate, and you're listening to One Lump or Two,
The boldest breast cancer podcast yet.
Join us each week as we offer an intimate glimpse into the challenges and triumphs of facing breast cancer head-on in our 30s.
In Series 2, we're going to be joined by you, our listeners, and some experts in the field to help us all feel a little less alone and a lot more informed.
Now, let's pull back that curtain and dive in. Welcome back to One Lump or Two. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be full of an awful lot of raw emotion. Shelley recently had an appointment where she talked to the hospital about her reconstructive surgery. If you were with us in season 1, you'll know that Shelley was pretty fucking excited about her surgery, and she had a second boob cast done to make sure that she captured the beauty of her body as it is currently with just her one boob. The conversation that Shelley had with the hospital was a little bit different to what she expected, and she has kindly decided to share that with us, which is huge. Any of us who have been in these conversations know they're hugely emotional, and the levels of vulnerability you have in them are outstanding. So this is huge for Shelley, not to patronise her, but round of applause. So to start, I'm going to play you the series of voice notes that led me to Shelley's door last week, where we had quite a few hours of emotional turmoil as Shelley processed the conversation she had just had. And then we are going to hear Shelley's appointment with the hospital. And then Shelley and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about everything that she's thinking and she's feeling and where she stands today, which may not be where she stands tomorrow. But before we start, I just want to say to anyone else out there who might be in a similar situation, the exact same thing I've said to Shelley. Whether you have one boob, two boob, or no boobs, you are beautiful and you are loved. There is no right or wrong choice here. And no matter what you choose, your people and me and Shelley will be here holding your hand. Also get some therapy in whatever therapy works for you. So let's grab the tissues and go.
Hello. I just had my breast reconstruction appointment and I was only in there 10 minutes. Anyway, I recorded it. I got really upset, like I just started crying. I think, oh, hang on, there's a parking attendant. Oh my God, wait, I need to get in my car because he's going to give me a ticket. Hang on.
That's the best start to any voice note ever. Like, oh, I got really sad and ended laughing. Are you okay? Before I can see your recording, but are you okay?
Okay, crisis averted. Basically, I parked in the staff car park at the John Radcliffe because obviously I don't want to pay. And I have a staff permit, obviously. But the John Radcliffe staff car park is so busy, like you cannot get space for love nor money. So I've just like lodged on the edge, but like literally everybody else is also lodged on the edge. It's not just me. But at the church they're really hot on giving tickets, and I was like, I'm not paying £25 for this 10-minute fucking hospital appointment. Anyway. He's nowhere near my car, it turns out, so I've got plenty of time. Anyway, yeah, I cried. I don't know, I was feeling absolutely fine, and then she was kind of asking me like had I had time to think about it, and I was saying like yeah, and I was like I'm like basically I'm pretty sure, but like, you know, some days I have days where I'm like, oh, you know, having one boob's not so bad, blah blah, and then she basically looked at me and she was like, I don't know why I'm getting upset again. She basically said, I don't think you're there yet in terms of making a decision, and like I don't know why it's upset me because like she still put me on the list because I was like, can I still go on the list because it's like a 12-month wait, and so I was like, and anyway, yeah, she put me on the list and she was like, it's absolutely fine for you to go on the list, like it's your decision. But I don't know, like I think it just hit like maybe I don't think I really have made my decision. I don't know why it's making me so upset that like I don't know. I think I'm annoyed that I just like don't know. Like I feel like I was really sure, and I think I still do want it, but like I don't want to have major surgery over like I think I want this. I don't know, I'm just stressed now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired. Now I just need a cuddle. There's no one to give me a cuddle. Anyway, thanks for listening to my crying note. Love you, bye.
Do you want me to get in the car and come and see you and spend some time with you? I've got the doctors at 2:40, but I'm more than happy to come and spend a couple of hours with you. Or you're welcome to drive here, whatever. Just tell me what you need. I'm gonna come give you a cuddle because I think you need it. What you're feeling is completely fine. Like, this is huge, babe. Like, we're talking about altering your body again. And, you know, this time it's on your terms. There is no right or wrong decision here at all, okay? It's okay for some days to feel ready and for some days not to feel ready. It's okay for you to think you've made the decision and not made the decision. It's okay to be angry that someone is telling you that they don't think you're ready to make the decision, okay? Everything is valid. This is huge, okay? This is the next big part of this entire process, and you can take as much time as you need, and we can deal with this however you want to deal with it. And, you know, if you come to the top of the list in 12 months' time and you're not ready, then I'm sure you can ask for more time. Like, this isn't, you don't have to make the decision today, okay? But you're on the list, which means you are open to the opportunity when it comes to it, and that's the important bit. So I am gonna pack up my laptop and I can probably come and spend a couple of hours with you if that's what you want me to do.
So we met in January, didn't we?
Mhm,
And
yeah.
at that consultation, we talked about all your different options for reconstruction.
Yes.
But we came to the conclusion that probably the best option for you would be to achieve the goals that you want of a breast, would be to use a tummy-based reconstruction. And so we went through that, and hopefully you got my letter.
Yes,
where it
I did,
outlined
yeah.
the procedure and all that long list of
Yeah,
risks
yeah.
Have you been to the bra group?
I have, yeah.
How
It was
did you
really
find
good. I found it really good, actually. It was nice to kind of talk to people and see people that have had it done and kind of see the results, I guess. Obviously, again, with like a lot of that stuff, the women are a lot older than I am, so it is kind of a bit of a like, it was good to see, but also it was a little bit like slightly unrelatable in that kind of sense. But it was really useful to talk to them and understand their like recovery journeys and whether they would recommend it, and they all kind of were super happy and really like wouldn't ever go back. So that was kind of reassuring to hear. So yeah.
And I'm sorry that it was a different age group.
No, I mean that's it just happens, doesn't it?
Varies.
Yeah.
The bra group, as you know, is open for anybody who's had a reconstruction.
Yeah.
We're very, very happy for anybody to come back. We don't select patients.
No, I know.
So every month it's a different cohort of patients.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry they were slightly less relatable.
No, it's not your fault. It's just like obviously like breast cancer generally is older people anyway, so I think that was to be expected.
I mean, we can always, even if it doesn't happen at a bra group, we have lots of younger patients, lots and lots of younger patients. So if you ever want to be put in contact with someone, we can arrange that.
Oh,
so that's never a problem. So just let us know.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've got Anna and Sarah's
I do.
number.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you'd like to consider that, just let them know.
Oh, okay.
We're always very, very, very happy to do that on a sort of one-to-one basis.
Oh, lovely. That would
Just
be
let
actually
us
really
know.
good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So you've had the letter, you've had a read, you've
Yeah.
had a good sort of 6 months or so to think about it.
Yeah.
You've been to the bra group. What are your thoughts at the moment?
So I'm still like thinking about going ahead. Yeah, I still do want it. I think I don't know. I have like a weird relationship with my body at the moment, where like some days I'm like, oh, it wouldn't be like too bad to stay flat. But then other days I'm just like, no, like I just want to look like I have two boobs in clothes. Like I don't want to have, because I have changed like how I dress quite a lot. Like I wear quite a lot of like baggy clothes and stuff. So I think my thoughts at the moment are still like I really want to go ahead with it. So yeah.
Have you had a chance, bearing in mind what you've just said about an older age group and not being relatable, I'm a bit cautious to suggest this, but it's important that you know it exists. There's a group called Flat Friends as well.
Okay.
So this is a group of ladies who have decided to take the option of not having a reconstruction and are, perfectly
Yeah.
happy with that decision. So again, if you wanted to speak to someone, I think it does tend to be a slightly older group, but if you wanted to speak to someone from that group or even attend one of their groups, we can put you in contact,
Okay.
just so that maybe you can get the balance as well.
Yeah.
What I would say, your surgery is not essential.
Yeah.
So do not go through it until you're absolutely sure that it's right for
Yeah.
you. And it sounds as if you're not quite there yet. So my question to you would be, how can we help in that regard? Do you just think that you need time to think it through? Is there another resource that you would like us to provide for you, or a group of people that you'd like to be put in contact with? How can we help you come to your decision? And it doesn't matter how long that decision takes to make. It may be that you think, well, maybe I'll just stay like this for another year and see what my thoughts are over that time. But is there anything I can do to help?
I think, I don't know. I think sorry, I don't know what I'm.
It's a difficult decision, isn't it?
I think maybe seeing younger people.
Yeah.
Kind of who've maybe gone through it and are happy with the decision. And I think it's weird because I do want it. I think I feel like in my mind I have made my decision, but also I don't know, you just said then, it feels like I'm not quite there yet, which I guess I'm not, but I just don't know,
No, it's really tricky, and sometimes you don't want to make a decision that's sort of final. And what I would say is, even if you do get to the stage where you're pretty sure that you want to have it and you want to go on the waiting list for it, the waiting list can always be reversed.
Yeah.
You never have to go through it, not until you've signed the form and you're put to sleep and we sort of committing to doing it. So never feel that it's an irreversible decision whilst you're on the waiting list. Can I suggest that we put you in contact with some younger people that have been through this, and ideally some younger ladies who maybe have decided not to, so that you're getting a balanced perspective from a sort of more relatable generation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense, yeah. In terms of the waiting list, obviously you did say it was reversible, and I feel like I am kind of pretty sure that I do want it. Would you put me on the waiting list now, or would you not be happy to do that?
That's your decision. If you want me to put you on the waiting list, that's absolutely fine. And if you don't think you're ready yet, then we're not. So you let me know. And it might be that you want to think about that over the next few days and then just email us. I can always put you on the list from an email. So maybe have a little think about it. In terms of the waiting list, it's difficult to know how long it is at the moment because the picture changes the whole time.
Right, okay.
It probably somewhere between 6 and 12 months.
Okay.
That's a ballpark figure.
So if I went on today, for example, it might not be until this time next year.
It might not be. No, it might be a bit sooner. But,
when do you know when I would get an idea of when I would?
It would be,
yeah.
So we would normally like to give you about a month's notice or so. It's difficult to give much more notice than that because obviously we have new patients being referred the whole week who have cancer diagnosis.
Yes,
and
completely
take
understand that.
priority. So if you try and schedule too far in advance, you're just constantly revising.
Being
the
changed,
day.
yeah.
But we'd like to give you at least a month or so's notice. Now, what you can do if you haven't heard for 6 months is you're very welcome to contact your breast care nurse and say, just wondered where I was on the waiting list. And we can always say to you, well, in terms of delayed reconstructive patients, there are maybe 2 in front of you or
right, okay.
So we can always give you an update at any stage as to where you are.
Okay. I think I would like to go on the waiting list.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So, and also the other thing I would suggest is maybe come to another bra group. I mean, obviously the first bra group you came to was probably the 2-hour session,
Mm-hmm.
where for the first hour we talked to you about the procedure,
Yeah.
and for the second half you have a chance to meet with patients.
Yeah.
It's perfectly possible, if you want to, just to come for that second half,
Okay.
just to meet some other ladies, and maybe there are some younger ladies, or it might prompt another question that you
Mm-hmm.
haven't asked. So bear in mind, you're welcome to come to the bra group however many times you want, and bring whoever you want to with you.
Mhm.
Obviously, anybody male can't go into
Yes, yeah.
the room, but you're welcome to bring anybody else with you who is likely to be supporting you through this process. So come to whatever bra group you want. You don't need to let us know. I'll add your name to the waiting list
Mhm.
today. I'll ask our breast reconstruction nurses to get in contact to put you in contact with some patients of similar ages. And then if there's any other way we can help, you just let us know.
Okay, thank you.
How does that
Yeah,
sound?
no, that sounds good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got any questions either from the letter I sent out or from today?
I don't think so, no. No, I don't think so. So yeah, I guess just in terms of the waiting list, like if I did decide I want to come off it for any reason, I just get in touch and
Yeah.
you just take my name off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I can just go back on if I change my mind again.
Just let us know. Or you can put it back on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
There are some complexities of the waiting list.
Yeah.
So we have to meet targets.
Okay.
So if you say, for example, let's say you're on it and you say, I'm not quite sure I'm ready yet, but can I stay on it? We might have to say to you, I'm really sorry, we have to remove your name
Okay.
from the list, and then let us know. And, you know, if that does happen, I apologise in advance, but it's just because the powers that be watch these things, and if
Right.
you've been on a waiting list for too long, alarm bells
Oh, I
start
see.
ringing. So we
Okay,
have
yeah.
to stop those alarm bells ringing. The only way
Take
to
you
do it
off
is
and
to
then
take
put
you
it
off
back
the
on.
list.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But you know, that's just logistics.
Okay. No, okay, I don't think I have any more questions, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming today.
No, thank you
You've
for
got the
seeing
contact details.
I
Yeah.
have, yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We'll get that sorted.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Take care.
You too.
All right.
How are you feeling?
It's I don't even know. It's weird listening to that appointment back, because obviously when you're in there, like you kind of I came out and kind of just, because I was so upset and like emotional, you kind of forget like what's happened, what's been said, and you're just kind of in this like ball of sadness. But I found it really, it's horrible to hear yourself crying. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that again. But also I can hear in my voice that I'm not sure about what I'm saying. And even towards the end when I was saying like this, you know, oh, I think I want to go on the wait list. Like, I don't think I did want to go on the wait list. I think in that I remember in that moment, like being scared that like if I didn't go on today, it would then be like another 3 months wait before I could go back on.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm like in terms of organisation, and she said, "Oh, just email us in a couple of days." I knew in that
You're not doing
moment I
that.
wouldn't have done that, and I think I was just scared that like I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like scared, or like, oh, my email might get lost, and I wouldn't have been able to go on the list. So I think that's why I asked to go on the list. But I can hear myself there going, no, I think I have made the decision in my head. I haven't,
Yeah.
and I can hear how unsure I am. Like,
So if there's a 5-point scale, right? 3 being nonchalant, 1 being I'm definitely having this done, 5 being I'm definitely not having this done.
Yeah.
Where do you think you sit today?
I think I'm a 4.
Okay.
I think I'm swaying more towards not having it done.
Okay.
And I don't know why that is. And I obviously spoke to you kind of the day of the appointment. Like you like rushed to my needs. Like me, you were by my side immediately, which I was so grateful for. And obviously you've kind of made comments about it in the past, like saying when you first met me, I didn't want it done, and then I did, and then now I'm, you know, you said like I've done so much work on myself with like the nude photo shoots and the life drawing and stuff, and like you're right, I have, and I think I'm just at a point where I'm like, for some reason I'm trying to like convince myself that I want this surgery, because part of me does still want to like have 2 boobs and look normal and, you know, not have had cancer, I guess. But
Yeah.
having a boob put back on
It's not going to
isn't going to change the fact that have had cancer.
And having a boob put back doesn't make you any more or less of a woman. It doesn't make you any more or less of who you are and what you've been through. And I know when we spoke initially, I said to you, like, I asked you if you were scared if it was going to change your relationship with cancer and what you've been through, because it does become such a huge part of our identity. And even if you have that other boob put back, it doesn't change that. Like, you are who you are, and you are always going to feel how you feel.
Yeah.
The only thing it might change is maybe cancer becomes less of a conversation in your life, because outwardly you would have 2 boobs.
Way less
It
noticeable,
would be
yeah.
less noticeable, yeah. But even then, like, that might be something that helps you put a bit more distance between you and everything.
Yeah.
But that might not be what you want. You might not be ready for that yet. And like, whatever you decide to do, whenever you decide to do it, is the right thing for you.
Yeah. I think I'm frustrated with myself. I don't even know why. I think because I wasn't expecting it to be such a, like, big decision, I guess. I think I was expecting to go in and be like, obviously I want, like, who wouldn't want reconstruction?
It feels
like,
black
who
or
wouldn't?
white, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it does feel like black and white. Like, who wouldn't want 2 boobs, obviously? But when you're put in the position of deciding, it is massive. Like, it's going to be a massive... the surgery itself is massive. It's going to be a massive toll on my body, but it's just a massive, like, emotional decision as well. And I just don't... obviously, I would never get the surgery being this unsure. I would never ever go into it being like, oh, I don't know, I think I might want it, knowing in my head I don't think I do want it. But it's just I just wasn't expecting it to be such a big decision.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, it's not gonna change my relationship with cancer, I don't think. Like, but to be honest, I don't think I want it to. Like, I've worked so hard to get to a place where, like, I can openly talk about cancer, and, you know, I look at myself and I don't, you know, when I look at the mirror, I don't really think twice about it now. Like, I am who I am. Like, I've had 1 boob for over 2 years now, and I'm kind of used to it now. So I think I worry a lot about externally what people think and what I look like. And I think I need to work on being happy with the way I am before I decide to change anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to regret it. I don't want to regret having reconstructive surgery. And it is weird because I immediately, when I was told I was going to have this mastectomy, I was like, I want reconstruction immediately. I wanted to talk about reconstruction. And they said, no, we can't have reconstruction now because, like, we weren't expecting to have to do this mastectomy and you need to heal, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't a choice of mine then. And now it's a choice. And I'm like, I don't want to make this decision. Like, someone just make it for me.
But you've got time. I mean, like she said, like, it could be up to a year.
And that's the other thing.
And
like,
I've known you a year, and in that year, you've done an entire 360.
Yeah.
You know, you've gone from being dead certain to, no, this is the way I am.
Yeah.
This is what's happening, to, I'm getting this. And now more towards, I'm not. But that's why you did the things like the casts. So that if you made the decision not to stay like this, you didn't lose that part. You didn't lose that bit of your history. It's still there and it's displayed very beautifully.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where it's not going to rewind the clock. Like, I'll have 2 boobs, but I'm not gonna look like how I looked pre-cancer.
It comes with a whole host of other
it's going to be a completely different body, and other insecurities, like, do they match? Like, this one's maybe a bit perkier, like, I still don't have a nipple, like, and it's still going to be like, I'm going to then have to get used to a whole new body.
Whereas, and they'll feel different as well, because of course one's still got all your milk ducts.
One's tummy and one's boob, and they'll react differently. Like, if I put on weight, one of them's going to grow, the tummy one will grow quicker than the boob one. So it's a bit like I then have to have the challenge of having to stay at a constant weight so that the boobs always look the same. So there was just a lot to think about, and I just got so emotional, and I've been so emotional since. Like, even people at work have been asking me, like, are you okay? And I've cried at work like twice in the past week.
But it's huge. Like, this is your
Yeah.
It's the way you look externally. It's your identity as you, like who you are today. It's changing the way your body will look and feel again. And
Yeah.
even if that is your decision to make this time, that's hugely empowering, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Just to have the surgery, you're going to be off your feet for another 3,
Yeah.
maybe longer months. Then you've got the whole thing of your body looking completely different with multiple scars, not
Yeah.
just the
one
one.
I have, yeah.
And dating and explaining that all to people. And like, it's not, you don't just get a new boob and that's it.
Yeah.
It carries on just like everything else, and it will affect, again, the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully a really long life ahead of you. So, you know.
And you know, like, yeah, you say that, and obviously, hopefully it is, but, you know, part of my decision is based on how long I think I've got left to live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, I'm like, do I want to have this surgery? I'm off my feet for 3 months, not being able to do things that I enjoy doing. And then 2 months later, I could be told, you've got stage 4 cancer. And then it's a bit like,
Yeah.
I'm going to feel like I've wasted all that time. And I know that's not how you should think. Hopefully I will just, you know, never have cancer again and live a long life.
Yeah.
But I think, like, in terms of big decisions that I make, that is always in the back of my mind. Like,
But you can do things about that. So, like, we know that statistically our chances of breast cancer coming back drop after 5 years.
Yeah.
And after 10 years, it's right back down to
a normal
what the odds
person,
should have
yeah.
been for a normal person. So you could wait all that time.
Yeah.
But 10 years is a very, very
10
long
years is
time.
long, yeah.
And, you know, by the time you're 40 odd, probably going to care a little bit less
Yeah, probably.
about it.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you wait 5 years, you've only got another, 2-3 years left before
Yeah.
you're there. So, I mean, there's no rush.
There isn't a rush, no. And I
Like
don't, I think I'm one of those people that I want things done immediately.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, I have to make this decision, and that's going to be my decision, and that's that, and I want to make that decision now.
Yeah.
Whereas I really don't need to do that.
No.
I can wait as long as I
And I
want
don't
to
think
wait.
you can, because I don't think you've got all the information yet.
No, I
think you need
haven't.
to take them up on their offer of seeing some younger people and talking to some younger people and talking to some people who've decided to stay flat and,
Yeah.
and try and find people your age that have made that decision so far. That's not to say that they won't also change their minds, but if they're around your age and they've made that decision
Yeah.
that this is the way they're staying, like chat to them about why and how they feel about it and what they did to help embrace their body the way it is, because you've done some amazing things in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, I would never sit down and do life drawing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll come support you anytime, but I'm not modelling
I'm
with
not
you.
going to take your clothes off. Why not?
I'm just not. And you know, you've done huge amounts of work, and
Yeah.
that's, you know, that isn't something to be sniffed at. Like, it's astounding, and
Yeah.
like, your relationship with your body, like, is completely different to where it was a year ago. You do talk about yourself a bit more positively and open and freely, which is great, and because of therapy.
And therapy really helped, yeah. I think perhaps I need to go back.
Probably.
We all need to go back.
It's not a bad thing, though.
No, it's
Like,
not.
It's like any life-changing decision, right? You don't just, I mean, people do, but you don't just make them on a whim.
Yeah. And I think that's what I forget is, like, this is a life-changing decision. It is. Like,
Yeah.
deciding whether to get a reconstruction or not is a life-changing decision. It will change my
I
life
think
in
it's
one way
hard
or
because
another.
there's this societal feeling, isn't there, that it's a vain thing to care so much about, like
Yeah.
the way we look.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the boob, like the way we look
Yeah.
in general. And it is a huge factor in this decision is the way you look. But it's the reason behind making that decision. But that's the bit that you wouldn't necessarily explain to everybody, because you wouldn't just walk up to a stranger and be like, I had cancer, do you like my new boobs?
Yeah. I mean, I might.
bet you could do
if I'm really
that.
proud
Yeah.
of my new boob, I might do that.
I wonder if it'll feel different.
I don't know. Well, it'll feel like how my tummy feels, so a bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
Not massively.
We're both sat here just poking,
Poking
our
our
tummies
boobs and stuff now. And I think, like, obviously we mentioned, you know, dating and stuff, and I think that has been a factor in like why I do want to have the surgery. And I think I said in a previous podcast episode, like, oh, you know, it's not like I feel like I need to do it to date, but I think that is, I think I do feel like I need to do it. I feel like it would make it easier. So I wouldn't have to immediately tell people like I've had cancer, and I feel like it wouldn't, you know, scare people away like it has been doing. But then in my mind, I'm like, if me having one boob's going to scare people away, like they're not the people I want to be dating.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, you know, and that's that. Like, I want to be with someone who's happy with me regardless whether I have a boob or I don't. And so it shouldn't factor in. So
No.
I think, I have been thinking like, oh, make dating so much easier, and like maybe guys would like me more. And it's like, why am I pandering to guys that are worthless anyway?
It is okay to feel like this is really hard and want a way out of that, because this is really hard. Like the whole cancer thing, the dating thing,
So hard.
post cancer, like, and it is okay to feel completely run down by that and just think, well, if I had two boobs, it would be less of a thing. Because like, it's not even like you've got to the point where you're sleeping with people and then it's become an issue.
No.
It's even just getting beyond the first date where you've
I can't even get
brought
a date
up.
anymore, Kate. Like, honest to God, it's really like, it's dried up.
get a boob then.
Yeah. I wonder if I had a boob, more people would want to date me. No. But it's not like I'm sleeping with people and they look at me and go, oh my God. Like it's not even gone past the first date. Like people are weird about it.
Yeah.
Which is
Because
ridiculous.
it isn't like, not to like defend people's bad attitudes or behaviour, but you don't expect to come across someone our age
No, you don't.
with
no.
one boob. You don't expect to come across someone at our age with a cancer story. And asking that and those questions when you're not expecting it and you yourself know nothing about it is huge, and it's overwhelming. Like, I can appreciate that for the person at the other end of this with you, it's huge, it's scary, it's overwhelming. They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, they don't know what to say.
But we're also at an age where most of us come into a relationship carrying some kind of baggage, whether that is health issues or children, crazy families, you know.
Yeah.
You're not just taking someone lovely and new off the shelf. Like, there's always going to be something. And if the worst thing that they've got to contend with you is that you have one boob,
Yeah, I'm perfect.
like,
All the other
you
ways.
totally are. Might be a little bit messy.
Yeah.
They don't need to know that
No,
yet,
they
though.
don't know that, no. Not until we move.
But
in
if
together.
that's the worst thing, right? And I get it's a really big life affecting thing, but that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because you did the hard work.
I've dealt with that. Yeah.
They've just got to accept you as you are.
Exactly.
And if they can't do that, then they should have been brought up better.
Well, exactly. They're not worth my time. They're not worth my time anyway. I can't.
So I know we talked about like a couple of things you could do to help you make your decision, or at least I think one of the things I suggested was like tracking where you were, because your decision is going to change, and some days you're going to feel for it or against it, and it's really easy to assume that you felt more one way than the other, when actually if you were mapping it out over the next couple of months, you'd get a really good, honest view. Have you decided if you're going to do anything to try and help you make the decisions, or?
I mean, I think that's probably a good idea to do that. Like, just, I guess, just write down daily
Yeah.
how I feel about it.
You could use like the 5 points I just gave you at the beginning of this,
Yeah.
like number 1 to 5, and
Yeah, where I am on the scale.
yeah. Or even like, you don't even need to do it daily. Like that
No.
might be too much.
I
like,
mean, that's probably too much.
maybe
I
just-
don't want it to consume my life.
yeah, maybe just like weekly.
Yeah.
How am I feeling about this today? If you take stock on a weekend, maybe where you've got a bit of time to think about it and
Yeah.
it be on your mind a little bit, and then in the day, write your number down, revisit in a week.
Yeah.
And then in 6 months' time, you might surprise yourself. Like you might, in 6 months' time, look back and see that you've said, no, I don't want this. The
Like every
majority.
single week,
yeah.
yeah.
And in which case then,
Decision
cool.
decision made.
You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
And even if it says you do want it, that's also fine.
And I think that will help me like compartmentalize it as well, because I think it has been like taking over my life a little bit, and I think that's been frustrating me as well, because I cry a lot anyway, like I do, and like that's fine, but I think like since that appointment I've been crying like more than usual, I would say.
Yeah.
And so it has taken over my life a little bit recently, and so I think like just writing it down and then being like, okay, I've done that, I've thought about it, let's forget about it now, is probably going to help that as well, because it has kind of like really been the main thing that I've been like thinking about.
And we talked
recently.
about pros and cons list as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which I think is a good way to qualify all of your thoughts and feelings about it as well. And it might help you, if you do go back to therapy, to give you some guidance on which bits you need to talk about, maybe. You don't have to accept your body the way it is, but you do have to reach a point where you are happy with yourself, like for your own mental health.
Oh, yeah.
Or else you're going to spend the rest of your life, you know, slightly annoyed and everything. And that's not what you want. And 1 boob, 2 boob, no boobs, beautiful, loved, no matter what. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The only person it matters to at the end of the day really is you.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it is like society's perception of like how women should look, and I think recently as well with like, because I do follow a lot of accounts that I probably shouldn't on Instagram, because
Okay,
of
so
like
let's have a
really
clear out.
of like really attractive women and like models and stuff, and you know the fashion at the moment as well is like mini skirts and like crop tops, like low rise stuff. And I think because
I can't buy into it.
I've gained like a lot of weight, and I keep gaining weight. And I think looking at these like really attractive, like thin, 2-boobed women on Instagram in their like tight tops and their, you know, little mini skirts, rah-rah skirts that seem to be in at the moment. And even like I went to Truck Festival a few weeks ago, and even there, like everybody just seemed to be like thin and fashionable, and everyone had 2 boobs.
Yeah.
And so I think like a lot of the reason I want it is so I can, you know, look good in a crop top. And I think it's so I've kind of like in the past and recently as well, I've emailed like lingerie brands being like, you should include 1-boobed models in your roster, and not just for breast cancer. Yeah, literally, I'll do it. And not just for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because obviously, like there are brands that
The whole time,
that do it for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
You don't just lose a boob for a month.
Well, exactly. It's not just a thing for October and then we just forget about it. I want to be seeing people with 1 boob regardless in like lingerie campaigns and in clothing campaigns. And I think that is a massive part of like why I want 2 boobs, is because you don't see young people or just anyone out and about loving life with 1 boob. You don't see it. And so like...
But maybe we do and we just don't notice.
Maybe. But when was the last like lingerie like advert you looked at?
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
They're all...
Because I know that because you and I and anyone else, like it doesn't just go for people with hair cancer, but anyone that's got hang-ups about their body, like you do notice those things in other people. It's like I said to you recently that I was really excited about going to the beach with the kids and everything, and then as soon as I put my swim costume on that morning, I just burst into tears. And all of a sudden I was like, I don't want people looking at me in something so, you know, revealing to some extent, and it only revealing in the sense that it was a swimming costume. You can see my scar on the side. Like, and I felt like I used to wear like bodycon dresses all the time and high heels and tight skirts, and I don't dress like that anymore. Partially because I have also grown up, but also because I'm not confident in my body like that. So then I found myself, when we were at the beach, I was looking at all the other women around me, and I was finding myself qualifying the way my body looked next to theirs and being like, oh, well, she's obviously not had cancer. She also doesn't have children by the looks of it. Or, you know, look at her sat there eating her carrot sticks at the beach, and I'm going to have a
You don't get
McDonald's on the way
carrot sticks
home.
to the
You know,
beach.
and things like that. And it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. And I kept catching myself in that cycle and having to stop myself and be like, you are actively making yourself feel worse about your body.
It's so hard
And
not
I'm not-
to, though. Like,
I'm not overweight. I'm not
No.
like, forget
You look
BMI because that's a pile of
BMI's
wank.
a waste of time.
Like, I'm not as fit and healthy as I could be. And I'm never going to be again. That's the thing. Like, unless I completely change my lifestyle and that becomes, you know, my only priority. Whereas my priority this side of cancer is enjoying my life. Like, if
Yeah.
I go back into that, I want to know that the time I've used between those two roller coasters has been great.
Yeah.
And that's not quantified by the way my body looks.
No.
And it's so hard to get yourself out of that mindset. Like,
It
I
is,
came
yeah.
back from the beach and bought another swimming costume that hides my scar.
Did you?
Yeah. And I know, like, when I was buying swimming costumes, that's what I was looking it for.
Yeah.
I was looking for something. I've bought one with like frills down here,
Right.
so that you can't see
like
it.
ruffly armpits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did buy a bikini from ASOS the other day.
Brave.
Yes. And because I used to wear bikinis and like solely.
Yeah.
I only owned one swimming costume if I went like swimming in the pool, like doing lengths, do you know what I mean? I used to literally just wear bikinis to the beach. And I bought a swimming costume from ASOS because I was like, okay, yeah, I know I'm not gonna feel comfortable in a bikini.
Yeah.
But then I did buy a bikini only because I saw a cute little bikini top and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. It's pink, obviously. But I know I'm gonna send it back. I've not tried it on.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna send it back because the model looked gorgeous in her tan and her two boobs. And then I'm gonna put it on and think, why don't I look like her?
My swimming
it back.
costume, and I put it on, I was like, I don't look like the model did.
Yeah.
Like, Alice just looked at me and she was like, but you look lovely. And I was like, thank you.
Aw.
Holding up the picture. You should see her.
It's honestly, it's ridiculous that we do this,
Yeah.
but like we have had, and obviously not everyone has hang-ups on their body. Like even if you are kind of the picture of like what society thinks women should look
Yeah.
like, everybody does have hang-ups on their bodies. And it's not just if you've had cancer, but I think like because we've gone through such a change, we have scars. Like,
And it's such a harder battle as well. Like,
Yeah.
I've been intermittent fasting so I've done a full 6 weeks of it now. My exercise hasn't been on point because it's the summer holidays and it's
Yeah.
impossible to get it
It's
in
tricky.
while we've got the kids. But I'm doing that. I'm watching what I eat other than my 2 croissants for breakfast. I'm trying to eat much better, and I've lost 0.5 kilogram.
it just kind of seems pointless, doesn't it?
Like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm being really strict about it, and the weight just isn't going anywhere.
Do you know what? It's the menopause.
Yeah.
It's
the
so
menopause
it
and the
is harder
medication.
to lose weight in the menopause. Yeah, and the medication that we're on.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit like, well, what's the point then? I'm so tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like it's an equally bad cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you're constantly doing these things that aren't necessarily making you happy to lose weight because you think that will make you feel happier, and that's not going to make you feel happier at all.
No, probably not.
Because
No.
like, what's
what's the
end
goal? What's the end goal?
Yeah.
When are you going to stop? When are you
Yeah.
going to stop wanting to lose weight?
And also just accept that as we do get older, our bodies change anyway.
Yeah. But I think the issue is because we're not that old.
Yeah.
Like our bodies shouldn't be changing in the way that they
They
are.
Yeah.
Because
We're like 10, 15 years too early.
we're early 30s. Like we shouldn't be going through the menopause and struggling to
No.
lose weight or like gaining way more weight than like we should be gaining at
Mm.
this age. It is difficult.
Society sucks, man.
Society sucks.
I'm sure men have this problem as well, but
I don't think obviously, sorry to any men listening. I know men, I do know men don't talk about it
Yeah.
enough. Absolutely. Men should chat about these things. And I do know men have body issues, but I don't think they're scrutinised as much as women's bodies are.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if an extra boob is going to make me happier. And I was speaking to Imogen yesterday. We just went to the pub and I was talking to her about it and I cried, obviously. she was like, do you want my opinion? And I was like, yeah, please. And she was like, I don't think that you want it. And I just like burst into tears because I think she's right. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like, I don't think that you shouldn't have it, but I think that's what you think you want.
I would agree with Imogen.
Yeah.
I don't think you want it.
Yeah.
I think you want to want it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
I think you think all the solve is the wrong word. I think all the problems that it might make easier, I think 2 boobs would do that. I don't think 2 boobs is going to make you happy.
No.
And even if it is really hard to be happy with 1 boob, I think you're happier with 1 boob now than you were a year ago. And in a year's time, you'll be happier with 1 boob than you are now.
I think so, yeah.
But whatever you choose to do, we'll all support you. And like, we can't make that decision for you. We can only tell you what
I wish
we
someone
think
could make
from
the
what you say.
decision for me.
Because the thing is, like, I mean, we've talked about it loads, like, but the way you've always talked about having the second boob is it's like if you were going to get a new kitten. It's like new and exciting and oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And it is, it would be. But with that comes a whole host of other things.
Yeah.
And I think it will open you up to a lot more negative stuff in the short term that I think you would find much harder because of everything else you've been through.
Yeah.
I think you'll really struggle being off your feet for however long
I think
it
I
needs
will
to
as
be.
well. I think I'll like go back into like a depression.
Because you've had to
probably.
fight so hard just to be up and about here. Like, I know that like this is, I can time it really nicely because August summer holidays 2022 I was off my feet. We did nothing. I did nothing but lie on the sofa. 2023 I was up and about, but I was paying for it by the end of every day. This summer I'm paying for it at the end of the week. I'm not like, I can see how every summer holiday since cancer has changed, and it's a real, it certainly the last week for me has been like a, oh my God, things are getting better. And it doesn't feel like they are all the time because every day I'm fighting and every day I'm tired and every day my body doesn't quite do what I want it to do. But in the general scheme of things, I was still off my feet a year ago. And I'm not now. And next year I might not even feel it. Like next year I might have the summer holidays that I really would like us to have for the kids. Well, we're out every day and we're busy and like being tired doesn't affect me in quite the same way and all that kind of stuff. But it's been such a long road to get here.
I think
even to have the conversation about having a second one.
I think that's the thing. Like, it has been such a long road, and do I want to like having the surgery might just push me back to square one again in terms of like having to get used to a whole new body. And part of me is like I think I will get there in terms of like being happy with just having 1 boob. Obviously, it is. The other thing is like it is a long road to do that as well. Like, I think I am making like really good headway with it. But it's definitely a long road to being like super happy and positive with the 1 boob, and I kind of want to like, you know, be championing it in a way. Like, I want to be able to be like, I stayed flat and I love myself and I love my life, and you know, we should be showing people with 1 boob more. Like, we should be doing this, and I know like if I had 2 boobs, it won't like I won't be a hypocrite. Like, I can do what I want. But in a way, I'm a bit like, if I have 2 boobs, am I kind of going back on like
you can't champion it?
I can't
in quite the same
champion.
way.
Yeah, exactly. I can't champion like having 1 boob and being happy with yourself if I've then gone, do you know what? I actually want 2 boobs now. Sorry, everyone. You can't be happy with. Turns out you can't be happy with 1 boob because I want 2. I don't know. I just think like I can be happy with 1 boob. I really do think I can.
I think you can.
I think I have made the decision, and I think I don't
I think I don't want the surgery. And it's kind of taken me this like appointment and like talking to you and Imogen and everyone else to kind of realise that. Like you said, I think I want it.
Yeah.
Because I want to look normal and have 2 boobs.
But you do look normal. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like,
Yeah.
society's telling you don't. You look normal. I never noticed that you don't have 2 boobs.
Yeah.
It's never a
Yeah.
thought that crosses my mind.
Yeah. Also, what is normal? Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be normal. I'm unique now. I'm special.
Well, I think you should get some therapy because we love therapy.
Yeah, we do.
I think you should just track how you're feeling. Write down some pros and cons.
Yeah.
Check back in with those lists every week, every month. You know, and in 6 months' time, take a look back at what you've been thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
And use that to reassess what you decide to do. And then you can call the hospital at that point and say, where am I on the list?
Yeah.
So that you can get an idea of how quickly you think you need to make a decision either way. Or you can even call them at that point and say, take me off the
Take me
list.
off. Yeah, not ready.
But it isn't a decision you need to make today.
No,
and
it's
even
not.
if you feel like you are erring way more in one direction, like you've still got time
Yeah.
to like take stock.
Yeah, definitely. I've got loads of time. Like
And
I
still
can take all the
talk to
time I
people
need.
as well.
Yeah.
Like seek out. Like we've spoken to some amazing people.
Yeah, we
for
have,
this
yeah.
season. So go back to some of them and utilize the support that they can offer.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna do that. Just big, innit?
It is.
Real big.
And like she said, you can go back on.
Yeah.
If in 3 years' time you suddenly start thinking, actually, I really fucking want a boob,
Yeah.
you can do that.
I think it
It's
was
not a no forever. It's a no for like 10 years, I think, until... is there an expiration date? It feels like there'd be an expiration date on when they would give you a new boob.
Yeah, for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've no
You
idea.
can just rock it back when you're 60 and be like...
Oh, you know that boob you promised me 30 years ago? I want that now. They definitely wouldn't give it to me. You can't go on the list. I think there probably is an expiration date. I have no idea what it is.
There
I guess,
must
but I
be.
guess when I'm 60, I've made my mind. You know what I mean?
Well, you never know.
Oh yeah, people change their minds all the time.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I think it is. I remember when we were speaking to, and you know, spoiler alert, I don't know when this episode's going to go out, but Future Dreams charity, and I remember we were talking about, for some reason we were talking about my reconstruction. I remember her saying, you have to be happy with yourself to make these decisions, and until you're happy with the way you look now, you can't make a decision because you'll make it for the wrong reasons. And that did kind of hit home for me. Like, I'm not ready to make this decision. I'm not ready to say yes or no.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely happy with the way I am. So I probably am, if I said yes now, it would be for the reasons because, you know, I saw a model on Instagram looking great.
But I think regardless of everything else and everything that people say and everything that you see on social media, like you should be incredibly proud of how far you've come.
Thanks.
Even in the last 6 months alone. Like a year ago, we weren't talking about you sitting down and doing life drawing.
Oh my God.
It wasn't a thing.
No.
Like you only did that, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
You know, and
That was
you've done-
major as well.
You've done some huge things
Yeah.
since then in this journey of self-acceptance, and they're huge things that a lot of people just wouldn't do. They wouldn't put in the work, and putting in the work is confronting and it's hard.
Yeah.
And you should be beyond proud of yourself, because I know I am, and I know all your other friends are.
Don't, you're going to make me cry.
I've got no tissues.
That's okay. I'll
do
have
a sound effect.
Sound effect of tissues. Thank you. That's really sweet.
Whatever happens, it'll be the right thing.
Yeah.
And at the right time.
It will be, yeah. If you want to share your story, we'd love to hear from you. Whether you've had cancer, you know someone that's had cancer, or you just love listening to our voices. Slide into our DMs on Instagram at onelump_or2.
Or email us at onelump or 2pod@gmail.com.
See you next week.
Bye!